All right, whole lifers, welcome to week 3. So we're going to spice it up a little bit this week, and we're going to add in a small counter load. So I want you to grab something. You can pause the video right now and go grab something. It doesn't have to be really heavy, maybe anywhere from 5 to at most 15 pounds. Okay, we're going to be using it as a counterweight to help us get a little bit deeper into some of these positions. You may have noticed we're starting to establish a little bit of a trend here, and that's on purpose. My goal would be for you to be able to continue this practice even after these 8 weeks. So what we're doing is some lying positions, various seated positions and transitions, and kneeling, sort of low ground movement. Then we're doing some transitions up to standing, what we call get-ups, which we'll work in some more over the course of the weeks. And then we're doing some hanging drills. Okay, we're going to continue that flow or that sequence for pretty much the majority of the time. I'll continue to add in some spice to keep it interesting. Okay, so for now, put your weight to the side. Okay, and let's do some rocking and rolling. Okay, the rocking's gonna have a little bit of a spice too this time. So what we're gonna do is just start with 5 regular rocks. Go ahead. Nice wide stance will help promote a nice long spine at the top. 3, 4, on your last one, give me a nice long reach at the end. Okay, throughout your whole spine, again, not just your lower back. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to allow our legs to come off to one side and then the other side for a few reps. Okay, so watch me do it really quick. Okay, I'll spin around and give you the butt shot. Notice how I'm going over my shoulder. And I'm using my hand for support. Try a few of those on your own, and as you try them, I'll talk. Okay, so what's important as you do that is to go over your shoulder, use your rocking momentum to help guide you over there. If you find your hips are really falling to one side or the other, as you go over, you can kind of post to one side. But notice instead of my hips crashing, I just kind of hold myself up a little bit. Even if it looks something like this to start, that's okay. Okay, you build it one step at a time. A lot of this is finding the balance of tension and relaxation, which really ultimately is mobility, the ability to move. Okay, we need that tension to balance the relaxation. So by now, hopefully you've done a couple, and we'll move on. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and do some of our side rolling. Starting on your back, reaching around. Okay, do a full roll all the way to one side. Okay, and then a full roll all the way to the other side. One more time. Breathing, going nice and slow. Really feeling how your body articulates. Avoiding any pain, just sort of listening to your body's signals. Okay, and then you can rock yourself back up. Let's come right into side bent sit. Rock yourself back, and let's rock ourselves up in a side bent sit on the other side. Okay, now what we're going to do is grab our counter load here. Okay, we're going to use this again to help us get deeper into position. So, side bent sit to start. Okay, you're going to hold this counter load, and you're going to really hinge from your hips. So, instead of allowing my spine to round, I'm going to press this against my chest, lead with my chest, and sit this, use this weight to help pull me down. Okay, and I can even separate it from my body a little bit. Breathe, and then come back to center. You'll notice just by holding this, A, you can't post anymore, so you might be a little bit like this, but B, by manipulating where this is in space, wherever you need your center of gravity to go, if I push it that way, it'll help me sit into the position a little better. Okay, so I'm using what we call combined center of gravity and MovNat. Okay, reverse to the other side. See if you can do it without touching your hands. And then use this counter load first to establish the position. Next, to fold into the position and breathe. You'll notice it takes some strength to do this as well, to not just fall. Pull yourself out of there. Okay, establish the position again. If you feel crampy anywhere, just sort of back off a little bit. Just fight that cramp as much as you can. Okay, come back to a cross sit position. Again, use this to pull you into position. Okay, let's just fold forward a little bit. Go ahead and put the object down and use it to kind of pull yourself into position. Breathe. Okay. And let's just leave it in place or put it to the side for now. We'll probably come back to that in a minute. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to that inverted crawl position where the hands and the feet are down. Okay, let's do 2 lifts here, just breathing and lifting with the shoulders in good position. Pat of the hand, holding up the hands. Okay, from here, let's go ahead and do our tripod transition. Tap the knees, push back to a kneeling position. Okay, from here, we're just going to hinge straight forward. Okay, and reach behind us. Feeling hopefully our hip bones go right, touch our femurs. So we're getting full range of motion here with a nice long spine. Then we're going to go the other way. We're going to reach back, pulling the pelvis up towards our ribs and reach forward. Almost to the point where the knees want to lift, but I'm going to press them down actively. And breathe. Let's do 1 breath again here. Reaching back actively. And then 1 breath backward. Okay, sit in a flex foot kneeling position, and I'll talk a little while you guys enjoy this position. With natural movement, there's really no rules on how to stretch or how to get more mobile. Really, it's about spending time and getting comfortable in these positions. As you can see, we're using a variety of techniques: breathing, counter loads, moving in and out of position, sort of cultivating this mindfulness of our internal and external environment. In fact, as you're doing this, as you're listening, just go ahead and look around the room, left and right a few times. Feeling how your spine articulates. Allowing your neck to look, or your chin to lead the way, your gaze to lead the way. Good. Okay, so from here, let's come up to our deep knee bend position like we worked on last week. So I'm going to lean back, just so the knees get light, okay, and then come up to the deep knee bend position. Okay, let's widen out our stance and step into our deep squat. Okay, now if again that's not really accessible to you, just put your hands down for a second, support yourself. Okay, and then let's all come down to a seated position. Okay, now we're going to do a different type of get-up this time. We're going to use our tripod transition and do a tripod get-up. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to use rocking momentum to come back to bent sit, kick the leg long the same side as the post. Now what I'm going to do is elevate, turn, but I'm going to keep my knees off the ground. Now what I want to do is keep my keep this hip angle nice and tight. So I don't want to round my spine. I want to imagine trying to wedge something in here as I slowly push my way back. Get your legs almost totally straight, so you feel a big, big, big stretch throughout the back of your legs. Breathe here for a second, and then stand up. Same thing on the way down. Hips shoot backward. See how far you can get them backward first, away from your heels or behind your heels. Bend your knees slightly. Put 1 hand on the ground, even 2 hands if you need to, and then come back down. Okay, let's switch sides. So we're going to rock. Other leg shoots long, same side post. Okay, turn the hips. Okay, just going to change my angle here. Okay, use your hands as needed to really close this hip angle, start to straighten the legs. Feel the whole stretch in the back of your body. And stand up. Shoot the hips backward. And come back down. Okay, let's do 1 more of those per side, nice and slow. Okay, once you've done your last 2 per side, pick a side, get back up. Okay, let's move on to some hanging. Okay, so last time we did a regular hang and some side swinging. Okay, let's start with the same thing, just 3 breaths of each. Okay, so I get in a position, hanging. 1, 2, working those ribs down. 3. Okay, and again, it's always okay to regress down to, if you're still struggling with this position, working with just taking some of your body weight off is totally fine. Now let's do a set of 10 per side of the side swinging. 2, 3, 10 totals. And then come back down and rest. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our bar, and what we're going to do is we're just going to stretch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pull my ribs down. Again, same thing. Just because I'm stretching here doesn't mean I just want to lead with my rib cage. Ribs are down, head and neck are maintaining the same alignment as I just let my shoulders open up. Okay, and again, it's really good to practice moving here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down on the bar and push myself out of the position, and I'm just going to settle back into it with control. Push, settle, and breathe. One full breath. Push, settle, and breathe. Make sure your elbows stay straight. Push, settle, and breathe. You should notice as you push, it's natural to want to do the opposite. Kind of close in your armpits, spin the elbows up and push. Feel abdominal tension, and then relax again, keeping that abdominal tension and the alignment. Okay, push yourself out of there. Okay, let's practice our deep knee bend transition down to a kneeling position. Point your toes. Take a couple breaths here. Let's do, just for the purpose of this drill, let's try to see if we can keep our breaths out of our collarbones and down into our lower belly area. 3 breaths here. Okay, wonderful. I'll see you guys next week. Good work.